Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
We are back with Alpha Hydration and Wellness and Dwayne Mariner. He's our founder and owner. Excited to have him here joining us once again. Are you back in Los Angeles yet, my friend?
I am back in Los Angeles, back amongst the living, I suppose. Sometimes in Texas, it feels like since we don't see as many people.
Oh,
Yeah,
and
we're here
what part of Texas are you from originally, where you were just visiting?
up in the Panhandle, up in Amarillo, which is pretty much equidistant from Oklahoma City and Albuquerque. We're right in the middle of the country.
Beautiful. Well, I hope you had a great time with the
We
family and
did.
excited
We
you're
did.
back to talk more about these amazing services to help us. So, give us a little bit of the background of what Alpha Hydration and Wellness has to offer. I mean, it's a lot. We can spend a whole show just telling your services, but
Yeah.
give us an overview and then we'll talk today. Again, I'm sure it's going to be a great show. We're going to talk more about the absorption rate. We're going to talk more about stuff we can do for bone health and so much more.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dwayne. It's
So
all
much
you.
more. Basically, to put it to really make a summation of what we do, we are a IV vitamin and wellness company that focuses on natural wellness paths for people. I like to call it integrative wellness, whatever you want to call it. We try to mitigate long-term issues. Keep people out of the emergency room, keep people out of the hospital, keep them hydrated, keep them vitaminated, the new word I just made up.
I like it.
Anything that keeps people optimized, we want to do to help them be efficient in their everyday lives. I mean, we have to be, especially now, we're just not getting our vitamins. We're not drinking enough water. We drink Red Bull, we drink Celsius, free plugs for them, but it doesn't matter. I mean, the stuff is not good for you, even though everybody claims it's good for you. In fact, I just got an interesting article yesterday from a guy that had half his head cut off because of drinking too many energy drinks.
Whoa.
We're not doing what we should do to stay healthy. You know, you have your vegans who do the vegan stuff. Are they drinking enough water? Probably not. Are they taking the right vitamins? Are they getting the right vitamins? Probably not. So there's lots of places you can actually lose these vitamins that you need, that are essential to your function, to your health, to all your organs, to your skin, to your brain, to your bones. You were mentioning everything. So the less vitamins we're able to take in, the less our body's going to work at an optimum level. And as we overtill over everything the land, and we get more GMOs, and Monsanto wants to come in and put stuff in, and just all the stuff that makes our bodies sick
Yeah.
is, we're not getting the good stuff in short a short long summation. So that's what we do. Basically, try to optimize your health.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that. And the website's ahsiv.com, correct? Alpha Hydration
You
and
nailed
Wellness.
it.
Perfect.
You nailed it.
All
You
right. Well,
nailed it.
what else did you want to kind of break down today? No, you talked about absorption rate. Could you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, we touched on that. I think it was last week, maybe the week before, and
Yeah.
a buddy of mine actually called me and said, he said, absorption is really important in this. And I said, yeah, you're right. And I really just kind of, glossed over it. But the absorption rate of IVs is 100% bioavailability. So to put it into perspective, if you take a pill of 5,000 milligrams of vitamin C, you're going to get about 10%. You're going to get about 500 milligrams, maybe 1,000 if you're lucky. But you're not going to find a 5,000 milligram pill of vitamin C that's 10 pills of vitamin C. Whereas if we give you 5,000 milligrams of vitamin C, which is an everyday normal dose for an IV, which is a super high dose, but it's still an amazing dose, you get all of it. You use all of it. You don't just pass through your GI system and excrete it. Make what my partner and doctor says is you make expensive urine. And yeah, that's exactly what it is. And our shelves are lined with vitamins, and everybody
Yeah.
looks at them and says, "Oh yeah, I need that. I need that. I need that."
Yeah.
And you have to get, to really get good quality vitamins, you're going to spend a lot of money. You're going to have to look for very specialized vitamins. Whereas ours, you might spend this less money over the course of a month for one IV than you will over the course of a month with all the vitamins. So kind of an apples to apples, a little apples to
Yeah.
oranges, but absorption is key for everything. We have a lot of clients that just have poor absorption in their gut. We put them on a few products that actually helps absorption in the gut and slows that so things aren't just going
But
through,
how do you
taking a little
find
bit and
out?
they're done.
How do you find out? I know with your background as an
Well,
RN,
yeah.
how do
Well,
you
we can actually
discover?
do lab work and get objective data, but really it's evidence based.
Okay.
We know this. We know that people are lacking, uh, even in hydration. We don't have to do labs anymore. We know over 20 years of doing labs in the emergency department. Everybody was either on the low end of hydrated, which means they were just barely passing, for lack of a better term, and or dehydrated. We could tell
Yeah.
by how thick their blood is. We could tell by their electrolytes. We could tell by everything. But it was just amazing to me. It was just that's when it kind of dawned on me.
Yeah.
Why are we not just letting people have hydration at will? Why do we have to come to the doctor? Why do we have to go to the ER? Why? Why? Why do we need to spend exorbitant amounts of money to
Yeah.
get an IV bag? I don't want to pay $1,200 for an IV bag. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's crazy. So I think we like to help put it in people's hands where they can say, yes, I choose to be healthy, hydrated, and feeling good all the time.
Yep.
Be it once a month, be it every 6 months. Everybody's different. Their body just absorbs different. Once we get you hydrated, you can actually, stay caught up if you do your right water regimen. So all that really just plays together between the vitamins and the hydration and everything. But the absorption is key. You can't drink a liter of water in 30 minutes and feel good. Your stomach just gets bloated. You can't replace if you're behind. Look at you,
You
fantastic.
reminded me.
Kudos. No, it's
Thanks.
true. You almost have to be reminded. I didn't start drinking a lot of water until I got one of these.
Oh
You
wow.
can't see it, but it's a big cup.
It's a
There
big
it is.
cup. It's a big
Yeah,
something.
it's a big cup. So I drink about four of those a day, and I'm always hydrated, even though I still do the IVs and do the IV vitamins, and I still owe you one on here because nobody's ever around.
Yeah. Oh
My
my
wife's one's like,
goodness.
okay, I'll come do it, and then she gets tied up. So that's
Well,
really short summation for a lot of a big problem we all have.
okay, how much water should we be drinking? No, really, like what is doesn't it go by your weight and you got to divide something? I
Yeah,
always forget.
wait. So
I don't
so if
know.
you did it if you did the IV formula, you would do like 30 mils per kilogram. So
Okay.
let's say you're 100 pounds off the top of my head, 45 kilos. So you'd be taking about 1.2 liters a day, 1,200 mils a day,
Okay.
and that's for a really small person. Uh, and that's just an IV formula. So like myself, I'm probably up there like 3 liters a day. The problem is you get in that point where you can get too much
Wow.
water because you lower, excuse me, you lower your sodium from too much water. So there's a balance, and the body kind of knows when you've had enough. Excuse me, I got the hiccups all of a sudden.
Okay.
It's gonna say, it's too much water for me today. So yes, you can overhydrate with just water. So there's another issue. You can't overhydrate with IVs because it has normal saline in it. It's isotonic. It's compatible with the body. Whereas our tap water, our distilled water, all our good waters are just water. There's nothing that keeps our electrolytes in balance. So you can actually overhydrate. So a
Yeah.
nice, I don't like to use the term your rule of thumb because now I know where its origin is. But rule of thumb is I want to say it's 8 ounces, and I want to say it's 6 to 8 of those a day. I think is what it is. So 64 ounces probably, which is a nice number.
Got it. All right. Well, also, I want to ask you about someone like myself. I have osteopenia. I know we were just joking
Hmm.
before we started talking about the fear of roller skating and ice skating for me as we're older to break our bones. Is there anything that that you can give IV wise that'll help with bone loss or increasing bone? Or because
Yeah,
just
yeah. Go
curious.
ahead. Well, yeah, we can do some magnesium and some calcium and zinc. I think everything kind of plays a little bit of a critical role with bone structure. More importantly, though, there are supplements that we can
Mm-hmm.
recommend that are good for bone structure. One of those is ionized calcium, which has been shown to be very, very good for bone structure and almost reversing osteopenia's osteoporosis because it's actually going to where it's supposed to go versus most calcium goes serum calcium. You have your calcium channels, blah, blah, blah. Vitamin D, of course, is a good one for bones. And we have a lot of people that are very low on vitamin D. But the ionized calcium, which you can get from, it's called Pronuvia. It's very
Okay.
expensive, but very good and lasts a very long time. In fact, I'm about to start carrying it in my place for people who really need that because bone loss, bone structure is a really big deal for a lot of people. And I mean, you're not even old,
Yeah.
that's what's crazy. And you think of it as an old person's disease, but it's not. It's just, it's genetics. Genetics has a lot to do with it. But we're lacking something somewhere. And I'm no expert on that by any means because bones, whew, 200 and whatever there are of them. I'm not an expert on
I
bones and bone structure and all that,
think
but
it's
I
just,
have been
yeah.
researching that. And yeah,
Okay.
and that seems to be one that's really good. Uh,
Interesting.
and it has a ton of other benefits, but that one, it really does attack that. And their research is really good, that ionized calcium.
Got it. Yeah, I get confused. Why we sometimes I mean, over the counter, right? There's the calcium with D, with vitamin D3, or what's the difference? And like, how do you know which one you need?
Very easy. You just need one.
Okay.
There's if it's calcium, take calcium. I just don't think, and and I could be way wrong. I just don't think that the normal calcium that you buy over the counter at at the drugstore or
Yep.
wherever, at the grocery store, you're losing all that absorption. Again, it's all back to absorption. If you're taking that 100 milligram uh, calcium pill and that 5,000 international unit vitamin D, you're probably again getting 10 to 20% after it goes through. There are a few caveats to that. If it's a lyophilized, which basically means it's wrapped in fat,
Okay.
it actually will help bypass the gut and you get a higher absorption rate.
Okay.
And when I say bypass the gut, I'm talking about bypassing the stomach. It doesn't get broken down into other things. It actually goes to where it's supposed to be absorbed correctly. Uh, it's a crapshoot.
Mm-hmm.
You can spend a ton of money and get a bad one. You can spend a ton of money and get a good one. That's why this stuff is so. I want to say sometimes it's controversial and sometimes it just makes sense. Depends on who you're talking to.
Yeah.
So the answer is I don't know which one is best.
Yeah.
You just have to play it. But I think ionized calcium, based on their white papers and everything, looks like it's the best way to go.
All right. Thank you for that. And just remind us how we can get in touch with you, Dwayne.
Yeah. You can email me at info@ahsiv.com. You're welcome to call or text 818-482-3252. We're on the socials. We are on Facebook, Insta. I think it's all at Alpha Hydration. Uh, Google, you can Google us. We'll pop up somewhere. I think we're on Bing. Pretty much, if you Google Alpha Hydration, you're probably going to get us.
Got it. All right, we will. And by the way, I mean, you're huge in the Los Angeles area. You're going
We are.
mobily to people's homes, to their offices, to their businesses, and that makes it so super convenient.
We
Right?
sure try. We sure try. We can't get to everybody. Some places are really out of our range just because sometimes you just can't make it fair. I can't do somebody in Nevada because it's just not going to be fair for the price. We try to make it fair. We try to make it where it's affordable for everybody. It's not something that you don't have any knee jerk reactions. I'm sure there are a lot of companies out there that have knee jerk reactions whenever they tell them the actual price. We try to make it comfortable for what I would feel like paying for it. And I've paid for it in Houston and I've paid for it in other places and because I know it works. And if I needed it, I needed it. Sometimes you hate to pay for something you do, but it just
Yeah.
happens that way. But yeah, we do. We try to make it easy for everybody. We're very accommodating. We do a lot of pediatrics. We work with a lot of pediatricians. We do a lot of OB-GYN patients, pregnant patients, uh, infirm, sick, cancer, people on hospice. We try to take care of everybody. My mantra has always been nobody should die dehydrated because that's one of the worst ways to go is to just die of dehydration.
Uh,
Uh, and it's not going to save your life if you're terminal, but it's certainly going to not make you be feeling as bad as you could. It's a terrible subject, but it's a sad subject too. So we work with a lot of hospice companies
yeah.
because that's families don't really understand that hospice concept, but they think they need hydration. They do. So we do a lot of that too. So we kind of got our hands in everything. Not on purpose. It's just things that came across, and we like try to help wherever we can.
Yeah. Well, we also love the fact that you are dedicated to your craft, to your field, and
I am.
you believe you are best. Tell us why you are the best company out there.
It's our experience,
Yep.
100%. Collectively, with my employees, I think we've probably got over 200 years experience. Just between me and my wife and Dr. Prince, we have 60 years experience. Just been doing it a long time. Uh, the getting the stuff is the easy part. Setting up the formulas, that's the easy part. The hard parts are putting the IVs in. It's a learned skill. Uh, After about 5 years, I decided I could do it pretty good. After about 10, I thought, yeah, I'm all right. Now I feel like I'm excellent at it. I always say I can't believe that I am the go-to for IVs. It's amazing to me because we do like some CAT scan centers when they can't get their heart to get IVs. We help a lot of home health out with IVs that they can't get. It's all about experience.
Yeah.
Anybody can hook a bag up or hook a line up, but not everybody can put an IV in. So that's what kind of separates us. And I've always kind of touted that as our
Yeah.
experience because we have it. It's obvious, it's evident. So and we don't charge you more for our experience, which makes a big difference too.
Yeah, that's awesome that you are affordable, you're able and willing. And I like the fact now, you mentioned just something briefly about pregnant women. I'm not pregnant now, but I've been pregnant. You
Yeah,
need
of
certain
course.
vitamins, and I wasn't aware of that. So how does it work for pregnant patients? What are some types of things that their body needs extra of? Because some people might be scared saying, well, I have a baby on the way. Is this
Oh yeah,
safe? Could you share
yeah.
that with us?
Totally. That's a fair question because that's the question I get all the time. Is it fair for is it safe for the baby? And it's 100% safe.
Yeah.
Moreover, we're always going to err on the side of caution. We're only going to give usually just B vitamins, which you get in your prenatals. We're not
Okay.
going to give you anything that might counteract with something. Fluids at for the hydration because it keeps that amniotic sac full. Once like if they have hyperemesis gravidarum, once they start doing all that throwing up, they start losing all the fluids. Those fluids start coming out of the amniotic fluid, and then they start getting contractions or something
Yep.
odd. So it's a great first line for first trimester women who are just pretty much nauseated all the time. It's very simple. It's an IV with B complex that has B6 in it. B6 has been shown to really decrease the nausea symptoms, and I've seen it work. I've seen it work with injections. I've seen it work with infusions. They've started a new medicine
Yep.
that actually has B6 in it.
Oh,
So just another quick way to help again mitigate going to the emergency department because you're dehydrated or because you have hyperemesis gravidarum, which is constantly throwing up from it.
oh,
It's a nice intervention, not too expensive. It might be $200, which to me is reasonable because one, it saves you a trip to the emergency room. Two, it saves you an enormous bill at the end of the visit. So
yep.
for the amount of a copay, we can make you feel better in a matter of hours.
I love it. And for
So
those that don't know about your
you
background, it's
know,
important to share how many years you've worked in emergency medicine for, and of course, your credentials. Could you just share that with us?
yeah, sure. Sorry, let me turn my phone off. I didn't realize it was on.
It's okay.
Yeah, worked in emergency room all over the country, starting in 2000. Man, I don't remember now. Yeah, all over the country.
That's
We
good.
did South Carolina, Florida, Texas, Northern California, the desert in California. We've been all over the country in every type of ER you can possibly think of. We've been in rural ERs, standalone ERs, level one trauma, adult, level one trauma, pediatrics, stroke centers, cardiac centers. I mean, all of it, everything. We've done everything. Uh, in fact, it's all of us. Me, my wife, our partner, the doctor. He actually finished medical school in Tel
Yep.
Aviv. He did his residency. I think he was in Chicago and Tel Aviv, and he's all over. We're all over the place. So just lots of experience, lots of demographics, lots of exposure. We've been to places that see 3 patients a day. We've been to places that see 500 patients a day. So we it's a lot of people. It's a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's a lot of patients. It's a lot of experience.
And you're
I've got
also,
my,
oh, go ahead, go
go
ahead,
ahead.
go ahead. No, no.
I actually got my university. I got a bachelor's degree. Uh, I have since lapsed on my all my trauma certificates, all my pediatric certificates, as far as like trauma stuff, PALS, ENPCC, ENPC. I've had everything. None of that stuff changes, but yeah, we everything. If you can get it in nursing, we've had it, done it,
Yep.
used it.
Well, that's why I
So
also wanted to bring up that you're more than just IVs too. You mentioned alpha hydration is about wellness, and
yeah, for
you're
sure.
doing hormone replacement therapies as well. I don't know what else you want to discuss, but I know for men and for women, there's a lot of other services too.
Yeah, wellness. I mean, we will do something as simple as you say, you know, I just I just feel like I'm a little rundown.
Hmm.
Okay. Come in for an appointment. You may not need an IV. I
Yeah.
don't push my IVs on anybody. I don't push anything on anybody. We start with let's talk. What's going on with you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I've got this SIBO, I've got this celiac disease. I'm not doing this. Okay, well, let's try this. Let's try some dietary changes. Okay, well, how much are you going to charge me? Well, nothing today. Let's talk, let's see how you go. And then
Yeah.
we'll so we try to guide people towards that wellness first, then let's get a little more in depth, do some IVs. We need to go deeper, let's check some blood work, uh, simple stuff. We don't charge an office visit fee. We only charge a consultation for a few of our services. Uh, but everything is geared towards wellness. And people look at me, I'm a big guy. But in the last since we started this last 6 years, I've lost a ton of weight just changing things that we do. We've changed what we eat, how we eat, when we eat. Did you ever look at the fasting stuff? It's amazing. I have several clients on the intermittent fasting or the dry fasting and
Yeah.
the water fasting, and they love it. And it costs them nothing, and they feel better than they ever have. So we're not just a for-profit company. I wish we were a what do they call a 503c or whatever.
Oh,
I wish I
yes.
had donations so I could
So
do
you could
this
do
all
this for
for
everyone.
free.
Yep.
I do,
Hmm.
because we have a lot of cancer patients that are really uh there's not a lot of money paying for insurance
Yeah.
in what we do. Insurance doesn't pay for it. So it's an out-of-pocket thing. So I really try to help cancer patients do the right thing with the least amount of money. So we kind of go that way. Everything is geared towards wellness one way or the other. Lots of alternative therapies for cancer. Pick something. Lots of alternative therapies, but all roads lead to how do we make you your optimum self via wellness. And that's kind of been our goal. We started out kind of more medicine-y. We thought, oh yeah, well, let's do something different. But it's times are changing, and I think COVID, if anything, showed us that we
Awesome.
need to be, yeah, we need to be proactive, and starting with that wellness approach is one way to be proactive.
Beautiful. And in our last few moments together, how did you want to leave off about the work you're doing and why people should reach out? I know why. They're awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they should just reach out and talk to me.
Hmm.
And oh, look, I have somebody here.
Who's that?
Oh, she'll have to poke her head in.
Hi.
Let me take my. You have to. There she is.
How,
This is
oh,
my wife, Kim.
so nice to
This
meet you.
is
Heard so
Jill.
much about you. How's everything going?
How's everything going?
Very good.
Very
Oh, she
good.
like disappeared, but nice to
I
finally meet
know.
you. Heard great things.
She really does exist, right?
I love it. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
You asked a question, but I can't remember what it was now.
I don't remember either. It was exciting to see her. It was just about,
I know.
well, we're almost out of time. It was kind of wrapping up, I
Yeah.
guess, for the day.
No, that's okay. That's great. They should why should they reach out to me?
Yes.
Because I like to talk. You can reach out with me with any questions. I don't care. If I have time, I'll certainly sit there and visit with you, and I do it all day, every day.
Oh, perfect. Well, thank you again, Dwayne. Tell us how we can contact you, please.
All righty. You can contact me at info@ahsiv.com. Phone 818-482-3252. You can text me at that number too. You can reach us on the socials, Alpha Hydration, I think both for Insta and Facebook. If you Google us, you'll get us. If you Google me, you'll get us. That's the easiest way.
Perfect. Thanks so much. Always a pleasure having you here and looking
Yeah,
forward
it's
to
great.
next time. And again, I want to see you in action one of these days with the IV machine. So hopefully we will be on call with a client one day. And I want to see how it
Yes.
all works. Like it's going through you
Well,
now.
I have my virtual one up there behind me.
I
So.
see. I like it. It's going through.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.